only. Dua soalan saja. Very short lah today, but not really short. I just want to establish the foundation. Kita nak buat satu asas yang kukuh hari ni. That's why it's only two. Nama two tapi quite important ones. Question 1. Explain the following. The constitutional rights of a property owner in Malaysia. I have to let somebody in. Okay, wait. Din masuk. Go back to the question. The constitutional rights of a property owner in Malaysia. Let me break down the sentence to you. Okay, break down the sentence to you. Which is constitutional rights. Kalau sesuatu rights tu, sesuatu hak tu ialah hak constitutional, hak berperlembagaan, maknanya dia punya rights tu kan nak be challenge. Sebab rights itu di-support, disokong oleh Federal Constitution, being supported by Federal Constitution. Okay, Liana is having problem. Maknanya, okay, now we are talking about the rights under the Federal Constitution. Itulah maksud constitutional rights. In the case of any country in the world, mana-mana saja, China ke, Papua New Guinea ke, Indonesia ke, USA ke, all the countries must have their own constitutions. In Malaysia, we know it as Federal Constitution ataupun the Malaysian Constitution, kan? Perlembagaan negara, perlembagaan persekutuan, perlembagaan Malaysia, Malaysian Constitution, Federal Constitution, the country's constitution, constitutional rights. Ini merujuk, this refers to hak yang disokong oleh perlembagaan, the rights that are being supported or being endorsed by the Constitution, by the Federal Constitution. So if that's the case, apa lagi ditanya? What else is the sentence referring to? Of a property owner in Malaysia. So hak-hak, the rights that are being supported by the Federal Constitution for a property owner where in Malaysia. Okay? Clear kan soalan, the statement is clear. Now, how shall we do this? Macam mana? Kalau ada, can I hear somebody's voice now? Because I'm quite bored talking, listening to my voice only. Anybody wants to volunteer? Number 1? On mic only. You don't have to on your. Tapi if you want to on your video also can. Camera also can, webcam. So dah lama tak tengok. Long time I haven't seen your face. Anybody wants to volunteer? Very easy. The constitutional rights of a property owner. Okay? Anybody?
Is it that no person shall be deprived of property save in accordance with law?
Okay, which one is that?
It's Article 13.
13. Yes. Correct. Article 13, Article 13 of the Federal Constitution guarantees the rights of a property owner in Malaysia. This one, what is it? I think everybody knows this. Just a matter of me wanting to hear your voice. Now, it says that no person may be deprived of property save in accordance with law. No law may provide for the compulsory acquisition or use of property without adequate compensation. So what are the two ingredients or the two requirements for the authority to take away somebody's property?
In accordance with law and with adequate compensation.
Correct. So one, in accordance with law, in accordance to law, mesti mengikut undang-undang, kehendak undang-undang. So what is law actually? What law are we talking about? We are talking about the primary law that has been passed by the parliament, an act of parliament, dan dia punya subsidiary legislation. Contohnya dia punya orders, the regulations related to the main act. Okay, akta. We are not talking about case law. Bukan, we are not talking about the unwritten law. We are talking about the written law, the acts of parliament together with the corresponding subsidiary legislation. Dia punya peraturan, dia punya arahan dan sebagainya, orders and everything. Okay, and must be adequate compensation. Anybody cares to tell me what is adequate compensation? Tak ada, it's not here. But this is just extra work. Can someone quickly Google and tell me what is adequate compensation?
Just write adequate compensation, no over or no lower than the value it should be.
Good. I like that. Betul. In principle, it must be something that is just right, dia kata. Not over, not too much, not too little. Kan, dia kata. But okay, that is a simple definition of adequate compensation. Kan, there must be a more complex, there must be a more sophisticated definition of adequate compensation. Betul tak? Semua orang kata betul? Betul. Adequate compensation is something that has been debated, bukan kita saja, in cases, in law cases. Dalam kes-kes di mahkamah, okay, people have been trying to define what is meant by adequate compensation, because what is adequate to the government may not be adequate from the perspective of the interested party or the proprietor. So itulah dia. That's when cases are being argued in court. Dari segi what is meant by adequate compensation in Malay. Tak payahlah Malay. The end. English. Let us look at the textbooks. Apa dia cakap pasal adequate compensation? Ada ke? Mana sekejap. Position. This one. 8.9. 8.9. Okay. I'm referring to this book. It's mirror image ke terbalik. The title of the book is Principles of Malaysian Land Law. By Aino Jaria et al. From UIA. Mana satu cover tak ada kat sini. Actually, if you look anywhere in the act itself, dalam Akta, this Land Acquisition Act, the term adequate compensation is not defined. That is the answer that I was looking for. Tidak ada definition dalam Akta. There's no definition in the act. So, the term adequate, what is adequate, what is not, what is considered acceptable by both parties has to be debated, has to be argued dalam court, in the court itself. Okay. So same juga as showed you just now, dalam Land Acquisition Act, there's no definition of adequate compensation. In this textbook that is very thick also tak ada, there's no definition of adequate compensation, equivalent, compensation, services, award, ni semua dah sampai dah. State of urgency, power instructor. Tak ada. So the term adequate compensation is not assessment dia. Tak ada apa ni. Page 532. That's why I buka buku ni. 532. Boleh baca tak? Can I read? Because even though this is boring lah kan. Tak apalah. For everybody's benefit. Because what's the best way? The better way is for me to snap the photo. You boleh baca after this. Okay. Wait, let me show you. One. Two. Okay. I have forwarded in your WhatsApp group the meaning of adequate compensation with according to Aino Jaria et al. What is adequate compensation? Can probably compensate a private landowner whose land is possibly taken away from him despite his disinclination to give up his land. Bosannya nak baca. Dia kata sepatutnya adequate compensation is given to a private landowner because his land is being forcibly secara paksa, is being compelled untuk untuk menyerahkan, to give up his land for the purposes of any projects that will benefit the general public. So sepatutnya just tadi tu, siapa yang pensara tadi dia Singapore. New mention just now, the compensation must be just, dikatakan, must not be way above what is supposed to be obtained, or what is not too low from what is supposed to be obtained. Just nice for the for the owner to be the same before and after the acquisition. Okay. Hereby you look at the first paragraph. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 5 rows from the bottom. The basic principle of the law of compensation is that the sum awarded should, as far as practicable, place the claimant in the same financial position as he would have been in had there been no question of his land being compulsorily acquired. Jawapannya betul just now. Same condition, same situation. Seolah-olah as if the acquisition has not taken place. Dia tidak rugi, dia tidak juga untung. Okay, that's the right answer just now. So spend some time to read what I uploaded on your group WhatsApp just now to get a feel of what is adequate compensation. 1B, explain the following. The second one, the constitutional power of the government to acquire land. Explain the constitutional power of the government to acquire land. So let me break up the sentence to you. Okay. Dia kata di sini, explain. Okay, that's fine. Okay. So what is anyway, the constitutional power. The power here refers to the constitutional power. The power being afforded, yang telah diberi oleh the federal constitution of the government. Kuasa kerajaan yang telah diberikan seperti mana diberikan oleh perlembagaan untuk mengambil tanah tersebut. So what is the constitutional power? Now again, kenapa penting? Why is it important for us to discuss the constitutional power of the government? Kenapa? Why? Why is it important for us to discuss? Soalan third year is a bit different kan from second year. Now the question is harder. I'm asking you the why. Explain how. All this kita panggil level yang lebih tinggi ya. Why? Kenapa di situ? Why are we discussing this? The constitutional power of the government to acquire land. What if the government acquires land without any constitutional power? What happens to the acquisition?
It's null.
Good. And?
Unlawful.
Betul, unlawful lah. Null and void, dia kata unlawful. Null and void is one thing, unlawful is another another answer. Not the same, not valid, betul. Not valid. Null and void is normally a phrase. Null and void. Ini satu, I'm typing now. Null and void is a phrase. Dia kalau null, void. Null and void, another answer just now you gave me, unlawful, betul. Unlawful tidak mengikut undang-undang. Unlawful. Bukan bona fide, bona, B. But it's not, Brian, no, that's not the answer. Bona fide bukan, null and void. Maknanya dia akan jadi batal, terbatal, null and void. Unlawful means menyalahi undang-undang. If the government takes away the property because the rights of the owner, just now refer back to yang the first soalan tu, the rights of the property owner is being guaranteed under the federal constitution. So if the taker takes away the property from the constitutionally protected owner, maknanya dia dah lakukan sesuatu yang menyalahi, that goes against the constitution. So the constitutional power of the of the property owner must be matched by the constitutional power of the taker, of the acquiring authority. Barulah dia balance. So mesti satu tu power perlembagaan untuk memiliki, satu lagi constitutional power untuk mengambil balik apa yang dimiliki di bawah perlembagaan tadi tu. So sekiranya ini harta yang telah dimiliki secara berperlembagaan, diprotect secara berperlembagaan, diambil oleh orang yang tak ada kuasa, dah jadi satu yang unlawful, yang tak ikut undang-undang, which is against Article 13, must be according to law. Jangan cakap pasal compensation lah. It's a two layer, it's a two stage punya, ataupun you have to check the first box, then only you check the second box. First box ialah according to law, in accordance to law. Ikut undang-undang ke tidak? Dia tak ada kuasa. Macam mana dia boleh ambil dia tanah? So, not according to law. Kat situ dah angkah instead of check, instead of check lah. Satu tanda yang dia dah buat. So, kalau the first syarat tak dipenuhi, you cannot go to the second one, which is adequate compensation. Tak guna lah. So, proses tu telah null and void. Terbatal. Okay? Disebabkan unlawful dan juga unlawful. So means back to our question just now, I asked you why kan. So that was the explanation. But now what? Apakah kuasa ini? What is the constitutional power of the government to acquire land? Refer back, tell me which slide please. Tell me which slide. Ini property owner. Then we go to this one here. Betul everybody? 2D.
Betul.
Yes, yes.
Yes, everybody. The answer is in slide number 13. Okay, government power associated with land acquisition. The question asked you just now, constitutional. So we refer to this one only, federal constitution, constitutional. Kalau ditanya pasal the power sahaja, the statutory power will refer to both. Statutory power merujuk kepada kuasa yang disokong oleh undang-undang. Statutory power refers to a power that is being supported by law in general. Akta, enactment, ordinance dan sebagainya. That is statutory law, statutory power. Constitutional power refers to the power which is being supported by the constitution. Constitution di Malaysia ada satu juga. Is it only one constitution? No kan? No? Yes? No? Not sure? Don't know? Don't care?
No.
No. So what are the
Because we have state constitution as well.
Pandai sangat. And at every state, what is the translation of the constitution? Is it still perlembagaan negeri? Kadang-kadang it's another term. Are you aware of that?
Undang-undang tubuh
Sometimes.
kerajaan.
Oh, pandai. Okay. So, state constitution equals just now undang
Tubuh kerajaan.
tubuh kerajaan. It's a bit weird, isn't it? Tubuh kerajaan. But if you look at it, okay, law to establish the government. Kan bukan itu lagi betul kan? The government, the law which is needed, which is implemented to establish the state government. Undang-undang tubuh kerajaan sama dengan state constitution. Kenapa tak bagi nama dekat federal tu undang-undang juga tubuh? Tak sebab kita gunakan perlembagaan. Federal Constitution equals perlembagaan. Samalah, dia melembagakan, dia menubuhkan, same thing kan. Okay, so the answer just now is this one. If the question asked about constitutional power, this one, item 2D. Now go back to our federal constitution. Okay, sekejap. Ada. tak tahu nak hilang. I wanted to show you my federal constitution, tak ada, alamak, tapi it's fine. At the back of the constitution, of the federal constitution, you'll find the lists, the jadual kan, the jadual. So there are three, kan? Do you recall your first year legal studies? There are three lists: federal list, state list, and then we have the third one,
Concurrent list.
Concurrent list. Do you recall? Can you recall what is on? Give me an example of an item under the federal list.
Language.
Language.
Safety.
Bukan safety tau. Bukan safety. Is it safety? It's
I don't know. Keselamatan. I don't know what is in
betul,
English.
faham. It's not safety. It's security kalau tak silap I. It's the education. Contohnya besar-besar. Education. I have the slide that I want to show you. Kejap. Dropbox 1003. Bukan 1003. Tak ada lah. Mana 1001. That's my legal studies slide 1001. Betul lah contoh tadi education, health. Now the COVID one, that's the reason why the KKM is able to manage the whole country. If not, if the state government holds health under each state, then we will be in trouble because there's no uniformity. So that's why that's a good example. Health is under healthcare lah, is under federal government. Mana tu? Tak apalah, anyway. State list, the obvious obvious item which is highly related to real estate. Real estate that all students must know. What is it? Example. What is an item under state list yang kita semua kena tahu?
Land.
Good lah. Semua orang tak tahu land under state list habis lah. Housing. State, federal, concurrent. Housing.
Concurrent list.
Good. Concurrent list. Planning. Town planning. State, list, concurrent. State, federal, concurrent.
State.
Planning. Is it? Is it? Are you sure?
Concurrent.
Concurrent. You see the funny thing there? Land is under state. Okay. Housing, planning is concurrent. Both federal and also the state must come together and work on town planning and also the housing matters. Tapi tanah still under state. That's why that is the source of our problems in Malaysia now. Sebab there's a conflict there. Conflict di situ. But anyway, so item 2D, state list, dia kata di situ, in the 9th schedule of the Federal Constitution authorizes the acquisition of land by state authority. Now, this sentence seems very simple. It's only three lines, 3 lines long. Kan kita kata. The thing that I want you to remember from now on is this one. Acquisition of land by whom? By state authority. Yang mengambil pihak berkuasa, the authority in charge of land acquisition is state authority. Permohonan dibuat melalui state authority. Okay, faham tak? Semua permohonan all the applications for land acquisition will go to the state authority. Permohonan dibuat. Proses yang mengendalikan, memberi kelulusan is state authority. Permohonan kelulusan comes from state authority. Application approval comes from state authority. The operationalizing tu, the pentadbiran, the perjalanan proses is different. The operation is different from application and approval. Lain cerita. You will see later on that the administration yang buat kerja land acquisition is not state. We will be exposed to another player which is land administrator. Tetapi yang sign surat kelulusan is not the land administrator but the state authority. Okay, so tapi must be very clear, the application is made to the state authority. The approval is given by the state authority because land is under state matter. Okay, good. Now, the third one, eminent domain. What is eminent domain? Can somebody answer? Nak tengok muka? Boleh? Can somebody answer what is eminent domain?
Eminent domain ni the right of government to acquire private property for public use
Betul?
with payment of compensation.
Betul? Betul lah? So that is
Betul?
right. Betul.
Okay.
Tapi nak kata tepat tu, betul, betul. Betul. Ada any version, any other version?
Land may be taken for any bona fide public purpose.
No. Just now, Ikhwan punya lagi cantik. Ikhwan dah on the right, very right track. Because eminent domain
Power of government to take private property and convert it into public uses without the consent of the landowner.
Yes. Okay. Okay, betul. Eminent domain. Eminent domain is power. Eminent domain is authority. Eminent domain. Sesuatu yang tak nampak is intangible. But it's power. Power, authority. Let me read you this. Dia tak baca. I know Zaria. Okay. The right to property ownership is not absolute. The right has always been regarded as being subject to the rights of the state as eminent domain. Sebenarnya, can I say that eminent domain is bukan verb, dia adalah satu noun tau. Faham tak English? Noun is benda kan? Benda. So, eminent domain here refers kepada state. State. An inherent right of the state and an essential incident of the state sovereignty. So, itu semua kekuasaan yang tak boleh sangkal dan memang semua orang memperakui, semua orang kata ada terletak kepada state. Dia ada pada state. State di sini refers not kepada kerajaan negeri dalam translation kita into Malay, no. State here refers to kerajaan in general. That is just English lah. Talking here about the hak kerajaan untuk mengambil tanah. That is eminent domain. Hak kerajaan untuk mengambil tanah. The noun tu. Okay. This means the taking of private property can be justified for the use of the general public. The powers of the state as the eminent domain to acquire land is subject to two essential conditions as follows. The private property is to be taken only for public use and benefit, just and adequate compensation to be paid for the acquired property. Yang betul dah tadi. Okay. So maknanya kuasa mengambil. Eminent domain is kuasa mengambil. Kenapa ada kuasa tersebut? Because dia kata mana tadi? Inherent right of the state. Kalau kita boleh translate inherent right. Inherent tu maknanya turun-temurun. So you cannot say it's the right of the PN government, it's the right of the PH government, the right of the BN government. It's the right of the government. Any government in power lah. Mana-mana kerajaan yang memegang tampuk tu, dia ada kuasa untuk mengambil balik tanah. Mengambil tanah, nak mengambil balik. Pengambilan tanah. Dia tak panggil dah perkataan last time. Compulsory land acquisition, the translation in Malay was pengambilan balik tanah. Jahat kan, dia dah bagi, dia ambil balik. So, they say we want to reduce the negative connotation kepada proses pengambilan tanah. So now we change the name of the act into Land Acquisition Act. The Malay version is Akta Pengambilan Tanah. Dia dah tak ada pengambilan balik tanah. Which means that essentially kerajaan bagi tanah kepada orang, kerajaan ambil balik tanah kepada orang. Tak elok lah bunyinya. Tapi sebenarnya itulah yang dibuat. Apa nama tu? Image is everything. Perception is everything. Kan? So, eminent domain. The third one. Selalu sebab boleh tak kita suruh komputer ni sebut? Okay. Yeah. Oops, sorry. Pronunciation. Hmm. Oh,
Salus populi suprema lex esto, meaning the good of the people shall be the supreme law.
semua orang dengar?
Salus populi suprema lex esto, meaning Salus populi suprema lex Salus populi suprema lex
Populi. Salus populi suprema lex. Okay lah. Salus populi, susah nak sebut. Mana kita tadi? Salus populi est suprema lex. Est to is. Salus populi is suprema lex. The rights of the people is the ultimate law. Tu, tadi cakap tadi.
esto, meaning the good of the people shall be the supreme law.
Supreme law. Suprema is supreme lah kata. The overarching supreme law. Okay. Now, for this one, anybody cares to answer? Kat mana tadi? Anybody wants to answer this one? Quite easy, yeah? The right.
The welfare individual must be okay. That should be Is it?
It's a bit unclear. Putus lah. Can you repeat?
The welfare of the people should be the supreme law.
Yes. Of the people should be the supreme law. So whatever is in the benefit of the people should override everything else. Supreme law means the ultimate thing that must be followed. Cannot question. Because if that particular thing will benefit the public, will benefit the people. Tak boleh persoalkan. You have to accept. Walaupun certain people will lose living property, walaupun certain people will have to move, walaupun certain people will have to experience inconvenience, kan? Kadang-kadang this land not all of the lot is being acquired. Contohnya dia acquire the front the front of the land to widen the road, kan? Road widening. So what happens to the land after the new road has been completed? Maybe more traffic, kan? Maybe dust, maybe you have what else? Air pollution, noise pollution. So the people or the landowner who is still living on the land will experience discomfort, kan? Tak kisah, because dia punya pengorbanan tu is for the benefit of the people and should be accepted saja as the law. You cannot challenge that. So that's the meaning of the salus just now. Which can be can be summarized by this particular paragraph. The general good of the whole community, which is public good, is paramount. Mengatasi, atas sekali, mengatasi, supreme, to that of the individual landowner, or the welfare of the people or public is the paramount law. So, anybody wants to add again, selepas pengambilan, what else? Apa lagi bentuk kesusahan, or what are the disadvantages that the landowner or the interested party may experience, selain daripada contoh yang I beri tadi, yang more traffic, more pollution, kan? What else?
Loss of source of income.
Betul, Syiraz, loss of source of income. Contoh, you dah operate a clinic, kan? Satu klinik, doktor dah duduk kat dah operate kat klinik dekat premise tu 30 tahun, daripada zaman from the time he graduated, he managed to get housemanship, whatever, he opened his clinic, he operates there for 30 years. Suddenly comes the day when the government said, oh, we have to acquire your clinic, the site, because we want to create contoh a traffic light junction, sebab you punya your office your premise is at a junction, you want to take your land. You have built your business there, you have built your goodwill there. People know that that is the location of your your practice. Suddenly you have to move somewhere else. So orang pun carilah mana dia sekarang, mana Dr. Gigi dulu dekat sini, oh, don't know where. Or during the moving period kan, daripada old premise, from the old premise to the new premise, your business is disrupted because you have to move away the dental chairs. You have to all these things lah, anything related to the moving of your clinic to another place. You lose income for say how many months? 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, loss of income. Betul. What else? Apa lagi kerugian? Apa lagi rasa loss yang dialami that can be experienced by the owner or as interested parties? Now we are just thinking about owner kan, but what about the interested party, orang yang berkepentingan, contoh pemegang pajakan. I've been leasing the land for 10 years at a fixed rate. Now I have to move. What kind of thing can I anticipate? Anybody? Kalau kita dah rent satu tempat tu, kata 10 years ago at a certain rate of rental rate, now we have to move to another place. Do you think that you have to pay the same rate of rent back to 10 years ago? Tak kan?
No.
Higher rental again, things like that. So many things will be affected by the land acquisition. Not just the landowner, but also interested parties. I gave the example just now, the lessee, the pemegang lease, pemegang pajakan, pajakan of that particular land. Yang mana you have to look for another premise, another site, which you may have to pay the current market rent, which may be higher. 10 years have passed, for instance. Okay. Oh, dah pukul 4 dah. Bebe, baru soalan 1. Oh my god. Okay, this one is quite interesting ya. Ampang Park, and suddenly a few people, not a few lah, 2 orang saja so far came to approach me regarding their thesis. Dia nak buat strata acquisition. Menarik. This is the case study. Siapa yang just now yang tanya inilah dia. Ampang Park kan. So I assume everybody has read about this one, this short article, bukan article pun, short excerpt, kita panggil short petikan yang I dah provide. Ampang Park, dia kata you guys don't know this lah, sebab sudah has been demolished already. Ampang Park, this is what it looked like before. So your super seniors managed to go and do apa hari tu, one of the guys management. The issues with the strata management at Ampang Park sekarang tak ada. Dulu buat thesis, sekarang thesis dia pun dah gone. Sudah tak ada tempat tu. Oldest shopping center, the first ever shopping center being that was subdivided into strata parcels, meaning they have strata units di dalam shopping complex. Now, we learned 2006 last semester. I hope that in your head, you don't just associate strata properties with residential. Strata properties is not just apartments, condos, the low cost flats and things like that, but also commercial juga. So this is a good example of commercial strata, the shopping complex. But nowadays it's quite common to have commercial strata. Mixed development nowadays, they use strata titles instead of the conventional, the normal one, the normal land title. Dia tak guna lagi dah, dia guna strata because everything is built upwards, they build vertical rather than horizontal. So Ampang Park, okay, 253 strata parcels, meaning dah pecah bahagi sudah the building itself has 253 titles, strata titles, including 57 accessory parcels to the plus common properties built 1973. Okay, due to development, there's a need for mass transit. Then we have the MRT, LRT. Okay, and then what happened was they had to acquire this particular development, this particular scheme. Okay, at that time they not provide for acquisition. At that time because it's strata. The Land Acquisition Act was meant for only land. Nama dia pun land kan, Land Acquisition Act. Look at the year 1960. In 1960, there were no strata developments in the country. But as time goes by, Malaysia experience progress. We get strata properties as time goes by. Okay, so this particular act, Land Acquisition Act, is considered redundant. Tak cukup, redundant tak cukup dah. So mesti di-update. Did not provide for acquisition of strata. It was a problem. It was a new area for both government and court. This is the chronology. Okay, all the way up to the federal court. The problem with this case was the whole building had to be acquired. Thankfully, actually, it's quite a simple case. Imagine if only part of Ampang Park has to be acquired. Itu lagi problem. We need all. So actually, it's quite clean lah. Quite clean. So all of beginning with the notice of land acquisition, and then what else became a political matter lah. Lepas tu jadi tak jadi ke, and then the Ampang Park strata owners file for application for leave for a judicial review. Judicial review means nak tengok kesahihan. Judicial review wants to see the legality of the land acquisition approval. That is the meaning of judicial review. The High Court rejected application for judicial review, which means that the process has to go on. So the High Court opined that the land acquisition was done properly and legally, mengikut undang-undang. Pergi ke Court of Appeal, what happened was rejected by the Court of Appeal. Judicial review was not allowed. Then appeal to the Federal Court again, rejected by the Federal Court, and finally the whole of Ampang Park shopping complex was demolished. See the timeline? 2015, the start. 2017, everything's gone. 2 years, which is considered quite short time period for this to be. Ada jawab soalan. Find out what is the judicial review. Can somebody read me the question, the answer that you have prepared? What is judicial review? Orang lain ada dengar suara Ikhwan. AK, long time no hear.
Hello there.
Hi. So what is judicial review? Judicial review.
What is judicial review? It's a type of court proceeding.
Okay, betul?
Where the judge will review the outcomes of the decision. To say it in an easy term, let the judge decide whether the case is lawful or not, to be proceeded for another review.
Alamak, it's a bit muffled lah. Dia macam a bit sound tu tak berapa cantik. Okay, I get the points. The main points are there. Okay, the points that I picked up as AK punya answer just now was, 1 is a legal proceeding. Tick, betul. It's a legal proceeding, okay? They check on what? They check on the law facts, on the lawfulness of the either procedure ataupun process lah, which is underway, ia tengah berjalan lah. So you appeal for satu proceeding untuk review, untuk legally review, untuk lihat kesahihan dari segi undang-undang. In the hope that if the court allows for judicial review, and then you boleh bicarakan the legality of the process. Sekiranya tak legal, then the whole process can be considered null and void. But if the leave is rejected, leave tu is application tau, leave is bahasa law. If a leave for judicial review is turned down by the court, that means that maknanya stop. You cannot challenge the process. Okay? Faham semua orang? Tak faham? Let us go and have a look at our, like I said, I lost quite a few things di Google. Boleh ke saya Google? Judicial review. Senang ni sekarang. No, the trick is to know whether the answer is dependable or not. Okay. Judicial review, betul lah. Were you reading just now? Okay, Lama lah, okay. It's a type of court proceeding.
Coincidence,
So,
coincidence.
incident, okay lah, kita percaya. Ni betul lah. The courts and tribunals judicial. Okay, it's a legitimate website, so therefore I can show you. If daripada blog ke, blog tu semua don't trust, jangan proceed, okay. So see here, judiciary.uk, it comes from a trustworthy website, so therefore I can show you. Judicial review is a type of court proceeding in which a judge reviews the lawfulness. Betul lah tadi answer by AK and also my explanation of a decision or action made by a public body. Itulah to challenge the way in which the decision was made. Sekiranya berjaya challenge tersebut, berjaya dapatkan leave kelulusan untuk judicial review, bicara the proses tu sama ada sah atau tidak. Kalau tak mendapat kelulusan, if cannot obtain the leave to judicial review, then stop. Tak boleh dengar, tak boleh bicarakan sama ada proses tu sah, legal or not legal. Okay. What else? What is judicial review? So the second one, if the Ampang Park shopping complex was acquired to build the underground tunnel for the MRT train instead of to build the MRT station, can the government avoid acquiring the Ampang Park shopping complex at the time? Okay, the reason for the acquisition of the whole of the complex ialah sebab was because the government wanted to replace the shopping centre with the Ampang Park station. Itulah pasal dia kena acquire the whole block, demolish the block, rebuild a station on top of the old site. Itulah pasalnya. But what if, ini soalan saya, what if sebenarnya tujuan nak ambil tu bukan nak buat station, tetapi nak buat laluan underground train di bawahnya, nak buat tunnel for MRT which runs underground. Perlu ke kita acquire the Ampang Park pada masa itu? It's a bit complex soalan ni. Soalan ni tricky tau.
Yes.
Kenapa kena ambil juga Ampang Park? Why? Betul, jawapannya betul. Perlu. Dia perlu ambil juga apa-apa pun. Now this goes back to the
meaning of land under National Land Code.
Pandai. I love you ini. Okay, betul. Sekarang ni kita refer kepada title balik. Land title which is under the National Land Code. Ini care to elaborate. Cakap explain to the class what you mean.
Maksud tanah under National Land Code kan the surface of the earth and all substance forming the surface, earth below and all vegetation and other natural products. Maksudnya semua yang atas tanah ataupun bawah tanah semua adalah belongs to the title owner lah. So kalau nak acquire mesti kena acquire satu title tu lah kiranya.
Betul. Okay, to elaborate, yes, Pak Datang. Okay, let me look at the answer. Apa Izzat jawab? Panjang ya? Yes, the problem at that time, the underground land acquisition are quite complicated as the ownership of underground limits under. Oh, betul. Betul ni. Now, this is such Aini's answer just now was correct, but this is more betul dari segi teknikal, more detail. Izzat punya jawapan. Semua orang tengok you look at your chat. Yes, dia kata, but the problem at that time, the underground land acquisition are quite complicated. Ownership of the underground land limits only can be applied to fresh alienation. Now, let me, macam nak kata, reword lah answer Izzat. I know what you mean. Okay. Now, sebelum 2018, if I'm not mistaken, refer back to our 2001 punya class, okay. All the old land titles, dia memberikan, it gives the right to the landowner, the right of the surface land, to the center of the earth sampailah ke bulan macam tu. The unlimited right in terms of depth. Kedalaman tanah tu semua dibagi kepada landowner. But as time goes by, bila saja di Malaysia we realize, the government realize the importance of underground land development. Okay, pada masa tu the new alienations, dia specify the depth of the land. Okay. Yang mana, remember our lesson last year, I think for industrial land, surface land goes down to the depth of only 40 feet. Untuk industri, untuk agri 20 feet kan. Untuk residential pun 20 feet if I'm not mistaken. Tapi di bawah itulah 20 kaki, 40 feet. Apa-apa, whatever goes below the 20 feet, below the 40 feet tu belongs to the government. So for the fresh title, for the new titles, no problem if the government wants to build an underground tunnel below the surface land. No problem. It can go down, katakan government is smart, they go down to 60 feet and they start building kan. Tak touch pun the depth of the surface land owner. Tak ada masalah. But the problem is with the older titles, title yang lama-lama, whereby the right of the surface land owner goes down, unlimited. Tak ada any specified depth. So itulah kenapa, that is why at that particular time, because the titles the land title involves all land titles, whereby the depth was not specified in the titles, maknanya the government has to acquire the surface land untuk membolehkan dia buat underground land development. Okay, is that smart? I smart. I hope everybody pun same answer tapi tak jawab je kan. Okay, all the things that you learn in your National Land Code is being used again now. BIE3001, definition of land. Jangan terus buang sebab nanti ada court case yang argue whether you can value the tanaman atas tanah tu separately from land or not. What is the quick answer to that? Kalau kata real estate, you value kebun getah, you value tanah tu berapa, you value pula berapa batang pokok atas tu. Is that right or wrong? Untuk kira compensation.
Right.
Hey. Salah lah. Kalau dah bunyi macam tu salah lah. Sebab, what is the definition of land again, Aini?
Lands include the surface of the earth and all substance forming the surface, the earth below the surface and all substance therein, all vegetation and other natural products, whether or not requiring the periodical application of labor to the production, and whether on or below surface, and all things attached to the earth or permanently fastened to anything attached to earth.
Nombor 5. Land beneath water kan? Lupa tu ada the fifth one. Kan? Land di bawah air kan? Dikira land juga. Okay, anyway.
Land covered by water.
Yes, land covered by water. Itu elemen kelima. Now, nombor 3 tu, vegetation tu, tumbuh-tumbuhan. So means, semua tumbuh-tumbuhan yang melekat yang ada atas tanah tu dikira sebagai tanah. So you don't do evaluation tanah, lepas tu berapa batang pokok dekat. Itu dah double counting, okay? Cannot be done. Sebab the definition of the land itself is apa-apa yang lekat atas tanah tu sendiri. So you don't do it twice. Jangan value tanah lain, bangunan lain, tanah lain, pokok getah lain. No, that's wrong. Sebab the definition of land under National Land Code is very clear. Okay. Tak sempat tengok siapa jawab tadi. Jadi okay, nah. In your opinion, this is very good juga. Ni yang kena fikir. In your opinion, was there a way to avoid the reference to court in the Ampang Park case? Ada tak cara untuk mengelakkan ni? Lepas pergi court, lepas pergi court, lepas 3 times High Court, Court of Appeal dengan Federal Court. Is there a way for these court actions or court references to be avoided in the first place? Ada tak? Sebagai professionals, I'm not talking about law point of view, but later on you guys are going out there as property professionals. Is there a way for us, okay, we as consultants at that time, to avoid the problem in the first place? Yes? No? Yes! Betul lah ini. Simple question. Simple answer. Negotiation. negotiate sampailah subuh. Kalau tak boleh buat lagi sampai boleh. Tak boleh buat lagi, bolehkan dia. There must be a price that you can pay. Yes, you can pay to the owners. Now, bear in mind, Ampang Park at that time, 1973, very old building. Do you think that the owners are willing to stay there after so many years, after 17, 30 something years, 30, 30, almost 40 years kan? Building is old already. Do you think they want to stay there forever and ever? Strata Properties at that time, your super senior who did the management issues of Ampang Park found a lot of problems. Whereby strata, nama pun strata, when development is strata development, semua orang becomes the MC, semua orang kena pay the maintenance and also the sinking fund. You think everybody pays? No. Bila orang tak bayar, what happens to the maintenance management? Tak ada lah maintenance. It was quite nak kata broken down, tak ada lah broken down, but very sad place lah. People don't go there anymore. A lot of new shopping complexes grew in the area. Competition took away their customers. Sebenarnya, if the MRT sat down, really negotiate, name a price that the owners accept, eventually it can avoid, it could have avoided the court references in the first place sebenarnya. Kalau ikut logik lah, almost 40 years punya shopping complex, people don't go there anymore. Business was not good at that time. Okay, of course, I think most of the owners would want a way out lah. Maybe the owners can request places inside the new station kan. Stations kan ada banyak retail punya areas juga kan, yang boleh retail lots yang boleh sewa ataupun some kind of in-kind punya retail offering kepada the owner, tapi tak dibuat. Itulah dia. Some people say that MRT should have sat down longer to negotiate with the owners. Okay, so that's all I think lah. 3 questions. Now it's quite interesting the acquisition sekarang, because bear in mind now, okay, in the case of Ampang Park it's quite clean because the acquisition acquires the whole of the building, but in some cases, okay, the acquisition may only acquire the common property, which is land. Bila dah ambil tanah saja, what happens to the compensation? Kita belajar tu kan. So who gets the money from the award of the compensation? Kalau sebahagian saja diambil tanah, dia pergi kepada siapa ya? Dia pergi kepada the MC lah, the whole of the MC of the strata development sebagai the landowner, meaning semua semua strata owners have a right to the compensation berdasarkan dia punya share units. Itulah share units. Tapi selalunya taklah they give out cash. Normally they turn that into reserve lah. They reserve cash, reserve fund for unforeseen expenditures in the future. Okay, this has been a good session lah. I like this one. Awal pula kita. Supposed to be 2 hours, right? Betul ke tak betul? Not valid. So anybody wants to ask me a question now?
Doctor.
Yeah.
Just now regarding the question 1 and then the sub question.
Tak apa-apa dengar.
Echo
Okay.
there.
Echo.
Because just now, Doctor, you mentioned constitutional power only refers to power given by the federal constitution and as well as the set constitution only, right? So, but then inside the slide, slide 13, the second one also mentioned about the Article 83, Clause 1 and 5 of the Federal Constitution. So, but then just now Doctor say only if the question asks about statutory power, then we will mention the whole slide. But then if constitutional power, we only mention the first part only. So I'm a bit confused about over there. Doctor, can you understand what I mean?
Okay. Sekejap. Ayah nak sudah. Okay. Ada pergi nak kata. Not so sure. Wait. Wait ni. Okay, we're talking about this This slide. The constitutional power. Okay, constitutional power. New, pay attention to this one. Via. Melalui. So, siapa yang boleh ambil state authority? Di sini pun dia kata federal government or any federal agency or statutory bodies boleh mengambil tanah untuk apa-apa sebab melalui state authority. So ultimately, okay, the power untuk meluluskan untuk dimajukan permohonan tu, it goes to the state authority. Dia boleh buat federal government, federal agency, statutory bodies. Federal government, kerajaan Malaysia. Federal agency, contoh. Federal agency, contoh like kementerian. Contohnya Kementerian Education. MOHI for the purpose of, katakan nak buat sekolah. MOHI contoh nak buat universiti. MOHI contoh nak buat anything lah berkenaan MOHI. Ataupun contoh lain. MOHI. RISDA nak buat. Felda, contoh nak acquire land untuk projek tanam semula ke whatever lah, tanam semula ke, ataupun projek nak buat store untuk koko dan sebagainya. Okay, so those are federal agencies, statutory bodies. For instance, mana-mana saja yang ada akta, Universiti Melaya ada akta sendiri, statutory bodies. Contoh lain, Indah Water ada statutnya sendiri. Nak acquire land untuk, contoh Indah Water untuk buat tanks dia, nak letak tanks. They can acquire. Boleh, ada kuasa melalui state authority. So in all cases, state government, okay, dengan federal government boleh minta tanah, the second paragraph mengatakan boleh mengambil tanah tetapi melalui state authority. Boleh? Boleh faham tak?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, sure. I think there's a confusion there because it gives both like this kan. Tapi sebenarnya this is the main thing that you need to be aware of. Via, melalui, by, oleh. Ni oleh itu sendiri, the state authority sendiri mengambil. Yang ini melalui state authority. Apa-apa pun mesti melalui kerajaan negeri juga. Because of the fact that item 2 mengatakan bahawa, state list mengatakan land is under state. Any other question? Ada soalan lain tak?
Doktor, cost information and performa tak ada ke spectrum?
Ada, tapi tak boleh buka now lah. Okay, sekejap. Ada just now lah. Spectrum B3. Masih tak boleh. I get this message. Do you get this message as well? We'll be back soon.
No.
I can show you. I have uploaded actually, but if you want to see performa. Bukan. Mana performa? Cost info. Mana performa Tak ada. Tak ada performa. Ni lama punya ni. No. This is 318. Sorry. Kena tutup balik. I actually have uploaded, okay, ada dalam online, but I cannot show you now. Ada. Tak apalah, kita tengok course info boleh. Tapi dah tunjuk kan? Did you attend the first lecture? Okay?
Tak, sebab nak beli, tak ada.
Sebab apa? Tak attend? Tak dengar. Apa dia cakap ni? Ini tak lambat. Sekejap, ada problem. Nak buka. Ni performa lama kita pakai dah. 318 is the old code. This one. Acquisition. Okay. So I showed that this is available online actually. So week 1 is the introduction rationale. Second week is the application marking out. So I am going to take 6 weeks. Anwar is going to come in for 6 weeks. Week 13, 14 we are going to have our namanya di sini presentation, tapi sebenarnya moot court. Malangnya you guys don't have this opportunity to have you seen anything on the moot court video? Pernah nampak tak? Because people who follow me on Facebook, follow lah konon. Tak ada follow sangat. People who are my friends on Facebook, okay, last year when their seniors did their moot court, I did take some videos, I uploaded. Boleh nampak apa dia buat masa dia punya moot court, which is kita buat role playing, role play. Kejap, let me show you. Role play, pakai baju lawyer semua. 1 year tu siapa senior you yang budak Sabah tu, lupa apa nama dia. Alamak, tak boleh tengok nanti. Fotos. Nanti keluar foto bukan-bukan boleh tak? Tak adalah. Foto semua okey. Nah, mana dia? The video last year. Album. Moot court. Mana moot court? Bukan. Ni moot court. This is quite interesting. Kesian lah, you all tak boleh experience this kind of thing because of the MCO. So last time we did this. We have 2 sides. Moot court means role playing, whereby we divide your class into 2 groups. Satu tu government valuer, satu lagi private valuer, acting on behalf of the client. Tak puas hati dengan compensation lah kan. Normally that's the case. So on the government side, the JPPH valuers, they have to defend their valuation. On the federal, on the private sector punya side, private valuer punya side, they try to fight for higher amount of compensation. They introduce new items, item 1, 2, 3, this is not enough. Dan the JPPH punya lawyer, JPPH lawyer would attack lah, dia panggil attack the private sector punya lawyer. Are you sure that this is the correct property? Are you sure the building is on the subject property? Are you sure? This kind of thing. So it's quite interesting. And then the lawyer can attack again. Are you sure that you follow the principle? Is this the correct comparable? Did you go and inspect the comparable? I think you inspected the wrong comparable. Quite menarik lah kan dalam tu jadi hangat. So this was the session last year. Dia macam lawyer gitu. Actually, are you seeing the video that I'm showing? Wait. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? Semua orang boleh nampak video ni tak?
We see the video.
Sound cannot
Not very clear.
Not very clear lah. Macam mana nak suruh sound clear? Okay, tak apa. Anyway, what you can do is I can post this again. I can post this again. Nak post di mana ya? Dalam group lah, nanti I download lah. Quite interesting. But anyway, done. Sorry. Done everything. Stop presenting. What else? What is important in this case? Now, actually you have to, this course the assignment is valuation. Last time also same lah, valuation. But you have to learn about the methods first from Dr. Anwar. But the thing is, as per the course information, the question will only be given in week 7. Masa Dr. Anwar masuk distribute assignment question in week 7. Then normally the students will go and do their inspection of not only the subject property, but also the comparables. Now MCO, 1 bulan 11, what do you think? Middle of November. Hopefully COVID is under control at that time. So maybe you can do physical inspection, same as what your seniors did masa MCO, whereby they came together, people from Penang, people from Kelantan, and they came and gathered in one place and then went to do the site inspection. Your juniors also have organized, contohnya for maintenance management. Okay, they know that okay, we're going to do our work, we are going to do the inspection week 8. So they plan ahead. Kita akan sewa satu rumah, okay, 4 of us, 5 of us, sewa satu Airbnb ke, okay, apartment, for 3 nights for instance, for 4 nights for instance, for a week for instance, whereby for the whole week we come as a group, we do our inspection, we divide the task, we do as much as possible within the 1 week. So this is also something that you can do with your group, for not only for your evaluation but also for this 3001, and maybe also for subjects lain yang what else do you have this semester? Property development, betul tak? Sekejap, property development. Taxation, you have session. Oh, tak ada. Finance je. Oh, bosannya. Sorry, no. I'm saying it's 2 subjek je, bukan finance je. Bosan. Ada report mail kepada Dr. Anwar habis. I cakap 2 subjek saja. So, must be. What else are you taking? Research method, thesis, social engagement dah ambil. So, quite relax lah. Betul tak?
Betul, Doktor.
Sangat relax now. So that means you have more time to do your thesis sebenarnya. Use your time wisely. Jangan bazirkan. You can finish up your chapters 1 and 2, maybe even 3 this semester. So that next semester, which is going to be very heavy, next semester, you see there, you have real estate marketing, you have ethics, you have market research, property development lagi, thesis lagi. Siapkan thesis sebanyak yang boleh di semester. You have to plan ahead. Please. But quite relax lah. You don't have 2 credits that been taken away by your social engagement. Also, okay, let me just stop the recording. Ini dah tak kena-mengena dah. Stop recording how? Now stop recording.